Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. Just going to dive into Bitcoin. Once again, thank you for support. Okay, big up the CoinsKid crew. So right now, this is a major level of support that Bitcoin's sitting at. You can see you've come through this right now, but you've not closed, okay? Look at the wick last month on there, and then you've come up, and then you've rolled. And like I said to you, that 55 is always where you come down to when you close below the 20, and you got the close in April, and you've headed on down to it. The big question is, are we going to start to come back up and hold it and start to do something like that over the next few months and attack that green line again? And then we're sort of validating this big count here where we've got this 1, this 2, this ABC corrective 2, ABC zigzag, and then you've got this big push 4, then you've got this expanded flat correction wave C, ABC correction, and then you're looking at its final 5th wave. Potentially up there, get rejected and roll into a bear, or if we start to break through that, you've got a monster push here, a monster wave that's going to load for Bitcoin, taking us to those price targets. And you can see, if ever you do start to see Bitcoin come up here and break that, wow, expect fireworks. And equally, if you start to come down here and lose this support, you're potentially on the cusp of doing something like that. I've taught you that, okay? Because that's support and resistance. That's all it is. Support, 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 resistance, resistance, resistance. That's all Bitcoin is. That's all trading is. That's all crypto ever is. These price action is all about support and resistance, okay? You lose support, back test resistance, you're going to go short. You break resistance, back test support, you're going to go long, okay? Support and resistance, and right now this is a major level of support for Bitcoin. So the precursor to sort of doing something like this is obviously if you remain below this 55 for the next few months, it could actually be quite negative here, and I do see people saying, the correction's not over, we're going to roll to 14k, then we're going to roll to 9k. You can see if you start to do that, in my opinion, is extremely negative, and I don't necessarily think that would be the bottom. I think that you'd potentially, bubble pop territory right there, okay? So, it's a precursor if, and it's a big if Bitcoin consistently close down here, it's on a knife edge basically. This month is so important, like I said to you, because there is equally the possibility that data has told us, like I've shown you so many times over the past month, that last week was the low for Bitcoin. So much data is showing us that was the low. So one thing that we could say to us, shit, Bitcoin is actually in deep trouble here, is if we lose that low, because that data there telling us that that's a low was the same data just there that told us that was a low, the same data just here that told us this was a low. So if it doesn't do that and adhere to previous data to telling us the low, then it could be a precursor that, okay, wow, Bitcoin is in trouble here, and we could be on the cusp of some kind of big bubble pop. It's done, it's dusted, and it's not what Bitcoin used to be. It's not coming up in these huge impulsive moves. We're cooked at this level, and we're going to enter this sort of multi-year bear market where we eventually come back up to the upside, okay? And you could say, okay, well, the macro environment's had an effect on that, or is it just because Bitcoin's in this big cycle, who knows? Or is it just because Bitcoin is a Ponzi and it is going to zero and Peter Schiff's right? Who knows? But all I've ever said to you, it's all about support and resistance, okay? That's all it is. You start falling through support, you've got targets to the downside. You start breaking resistance, you're going to have targets to the upside, okay? And that's simply what it is. So right now, for me, one precursor for Bitcoin not looking too clever, future wise, could be if you do start to lose this 55 EMA consistently on the monthly time frame, close down here and close below this band. So is there anything at the moment that I'm looking at that's telling us within the next 8 days Bitcoin is not necessarily going to close down here? Well, yes, there is, and I've been going through this with you, and I'm no sort of Elliott wave specialist, but I'm kind of looking at this impulsive and corrective move at the moment, okay? I think you're in this sort of big macro push here like that for Bitcoin, and I think that this cycle's broken basically, and this is an indication of it's nothing like previous cycles, and like I said to you, I think you've got a 1, you've got a 2, you've got a 3, and right now it's some kind of irregular wave 4, and you've got your wave 5. There's a bit of confluence that is a kind of ABC irregular correction right there where you put a higher high in, because of the likes of XRP, Chainlink, VeChain. Those projects topped last year and been in a whopping ABC zigzag. So in my opinion, the likes of Ethereum, Cardano, and projects like that have put in a regular correction. Do you understand? So Bitcoin actually topped last year and has been in this monster ABC. Okay, so you could say, okay, well, you did a monster ABC there. Where was the technical target? How deep was the correction? Let's take a look at that, and I've gone through this with you before. On that wave 2 correction, you've got around about 72% correction, and this was your actual top last year. Not this is not your top, okay? This is your top. That's an irregular correction, so that is actually your top just there. Where was it? In April, wasn't it? And then right now you've come down 72%, and that is tying up with all the data telling us that it's the bottom right now last week, and it's the same correction, okay, same pullback as this. So like I said to you, you know, it's on a knife edge, and one indicator here we could be keeping an eye on this month's close, basically, because if you do get the close below that and you consistently next month and turn into resistance, then obviously you're going to sweep that low, and this is all invalid, because if you do sweep that low, this is your wave 1 high. You cannot fall any lower than that in Elliott wave theory, okay? That's a rule of thumb, that wave 4 to wave 4 retracement cannot come deeper than that wave 1 high. So let's say, for example, if this is the end of the correction just there, this is the end of the bull market basically, and you roll into this sort of multi-year bear, your minimal target is 85%, and you can see that that takes out that wave 1 high. So this goes out the window, okay? But is it out the window yet? No, it's not. Okay, it's not completely out the window. It will be if you fall any lower than a wave 1 high. Do you understand? So can it happen? Of course it can, but it's not happening yet. So for me, this month's close is really important here for Bitcoin. It could actually get a game away. So enough talking. Like I said to you, we need to find something here at the moment that's telling us that we're looking to close above that in 8 days time. And I think I found it, you know, and what we're looking at. So I'm going to show you on the hourly time frame right here. It's absolutely on the knife edge. Who said crypto were boring, okay? Because this month's close determines this or this. Do you understand that? You know, and it would confirm that that's the bottom. So it's all about this month's close. Really, really important. So let's dive into the 1 hour time frame right here for Bitcoin, okay? So looking at Bitcoin on the 1 hour, like I said to you yesterday, it's key resistance up here, okay? You can see that you sort of pushed through it, a little bit of fake out, and then you've rolled. And right now you look as though you're coming in for a correction, obviously. But what we do need to see is this hold as a wave 2 correction. Wave 2 corrections, basically ABC or some kind of running flat correction like this, you know, an ABC zigzag. We've got to see some kind of correction in there that retraces to this low that we put in on 18th of June, which was last Sunday, you know, the week in which I said Bitcoin bottoms, okay? But again, no guarantee. So we need to see this retracement right now that Bitcoin's going through hold that key level support, because if it doesn't, like I said to you, you start to come back here and you roll and you do something like this, Bitcoin could actually be in trouble, okay? So what I'm anticipating is, you know, after this wave 2, okay, usually the most powerful wave is a wave 3. So what do we need to see for a wave 3? Well, we need to get back above a key level of resistance. And I should drop that in the charts, to be fair. I'm going to show you exactly where we need to get back above for Bitcoin. So the current level is just there. So around about 24k, isn't it? So let me drop a horizontal line in there, make sure that's a proper level. 24304, yeah, roughly around there. Okay, so if I go back to the hourly time frame, that just there is where Bitcoin needs to get its ass back above. Okay, you see this white line? It needs to get its ass back above there by the end of the month. Okay, so all eyes on this, because what I find with you know, corrective and impulsive waves, usually, and you can measure this, I've checked this is pretty accurate. Usually an ABC correction does not last longer than the first wave duration. So for me, for this to be valid, you've got to put the ABC correction in here. Okay, it has to be done in here, and you have to start to hold this low. It's retracement to this low. Okay, let me show you the level. Just there, that's your level for Bitcoin. That's the low. That's a really important low to validate this count right now, because what I think you're looking at is some kind of wave 1 that's completed, okay? And inside of those waves, you've got 5 impulsive waves that move to the upside. So you've got a 1, you've got a 2, you've got a 3 with this wave 4 correction ABC, okay? Just there. I was anticipating that was the wave 2 correction just there, but you can see clearly you've got a big push here. So this to me is confirming, you know, this is your top right now of a first impulsive move, and what we're looking at is some kind of ABC correction in here, and then after we're looking at a big wave 3. So we'll try and trade this together, okay? But what I'm looking for is an ABC correction here to complete by this green line, because like I said to you, this duration here is usually where you see the completion of your corrective wave. So this is your impulsive move, and this is your corrective box, basically, okay? And we're looking for this ABC to complete within this time frame. And if it does, you could say, okay, well, the 24th of June, which is a few days away, could be the catalyst that we see that big wave 3, and that has to get back up there by the end of the month. So you could be in for a monster pump here for Bitcoin. Like I said to you, God candle loading, because I think that these are key levels of resistance, and once you put in this ABC correction right now for Bitcoin and you start to lowball out and hold this retracement low, you could be in for a big third wave here, you know, a really big third wave. Now usually the third wave, okay, I'm no Elliott wave specialist, and I could be obviously completely wrong, but it's just a setup that I'm looking at to give us the power to get back above that 55 EMA on the monthly time frame, because if we're closing down here below it, it's negative. If we're closing above it, you're going to see the big wick, capitulation wick at the bottom, with the body of the candle closing back above that key level support pretty much, and I'll show you straight away, pretty much like we did in the Corona dump just there, okay, in 2020. Look at that. Big Corona dump. Do you see that? So that's the kind of candle we're going to see, in my opinion, because we've got a big wave 3 coming. If I switch to the hourly time frame again, you know, there's absolutely zero guarantees here, you know, and obviously we need to hold this support down there for it to complete, okay? So if we can get this ABC correction in right now, I'm going to go through the levels that I'm looking at with you. If you get the ABC correction in and you start to form this big wave 3, you're going to be looking at a minimal upside target, and I'll show you from there was around about 23% for Bitcoin. So let's say, for example, you know, all you're doing at the moment is retracing to this low, okay? So you're going to be retracing inside this box in an ABC. Well, you know, Bitcoin does really like the golden ratio. So let's say Bitcoin retraces something like this, A, B, C, down to the golden ratio. So it's at that point we can drop our fibs on, yeah? But what we're going to do is measure the move. So we know that 23% is a minimal move for Bitcoin, and it has to get its ass back above there. But what we're looking for is a wave 3, which is usually the most powerfulest. So let's take a look at this measured move right now for Bitcoin. So off the golden ratio all the way up is around about 27%. So that validates, okay, well, we're looking at a minimal length for the wave 3 of 23%. So, you know, if we go 27%, which is 4% higher than the wave 1, and wave 3 is usually the most powerful, then you're up there, okay? And you can see how this could actually play out right now. So we'll keep an eye on that potentially what we're doing is we've got some kind of wave 1, wave 2, back down to the golden ratio potentially, and then big monster wave 3 up to that level of resistance by the end of the month here, close out above that key level of support, which is the 55 EMA, and it gives us a looking glass to potential bubble pop or retracement back up, okay? So this is Bitcoin. It does what it wants to do, potential 4, and then you've got 5 somewhere, okay? And this could just be a large macro 1, and you've got subsets of waves within it. But one thing we have to see going forward is this support hold to confirm that that was your low last week for Bitcoin, okay? So yeah, ABCs and corrections are perfectly healthy. You need to see them. It's impulsive, this is corrective, this is impulsive, corrective, you know, and at that point when you put in your 5th wave, this is where on the larger time frame you're going to see a bigger ABC come back into this low. Do you understand? That's how it all works. Everything moves in waves. So this is quite impulsive because we've potentially got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're looking at an ABC correction potentially down to the golden ratio right there. But I do think if we can get some support off that level down there, the golden ratio, or wherever it comes to, I'll try and find it for you over the next couple of days. If that starts to come up, you could be in for a monster pump here of a minimal 27% for Bitcoin, closing out above that 55 EMA. This level here is where we need to get back above by the end of the month, okay? Hope you understood that update. I do apologise about the time, but it's 13 minutes long video. I do apologise. Take care, everyone. Back soon with another update on Bitcoin. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. Bye bye.